You are watching PR English Shorthand Dictations YouTube channel.
This is English Shorthand dictation number 403 and the dictation speed is 120 words per minute. Ready? Start. Honorable Vice Chairman, Sir, I thank you for allowing me to make my maiden speech in this House. I stand here to discuss on the budget. Obviously, from the party's point of view, I am not in support of this budget for various reasons, both in the President's address and in the budget presented by the Honorable Finance Minister. The regional aspirations of this country were completely neglected. It was nowhere shown as to where in this country's federal structure of democracy do the regional entities and the regional states stand. I will restrict myself to Odisha. As regards the mandate of this Modi government, I think the ruling party is not reading it correctly. If you see, the Lok Sabha has 204 members from the regional parties. It is a big chunk, and it only goes to show that regional parties play a very important role. This government cannot read the writing on the wall, and they all spoke highly about the Modi government coming to power for third time. But that is not a single party government. If the regional aspirations are not addressed too, I am sure this government will be out very soon. I will talk about my state, Odisha. Look at the betrayal of Odisha by this government. They won 20 seats in Odisha. They have got such a good mandate in Odisha, but they have given zero for Odisha. Mr. Naveen Patnaik's tenure as the chief minister for 5 terms left the state with a surplus of rupees 46,000 crores. It was not bankrupt. It was not as bankrupt as Andhra was. In spite of that, in spite of our fiscal management, we have been neglected even during our 5 terms. I don't know how many times they came running to seek our support and we supported them. They forgot that just to win an election, they have created wrong narratives and cast unparliamentary aspersions on a leader like Mr. Naveen Patnaik about his health. We accepted the verdict given by the people of Odisha. But then, what have you done for Odisha? Is there a revision of the coal royalty which you have been seeking for so long? Where are the highways? If you go to the state, there is not a single national highway you can travel on. On the other hand, look at our state highways. Look at the Biju Expressway. It is an example in this country. I don't know why there is this regional imbalance. Look at eastern India. There is neglect of Bengal, neglect of Odisha, neglect of Chhattisgarh, neglect of Jharkhand. What kind of a budget is this? This budget is just like appeasing two states. Under the BJD regime, the state of Odisha, from the bottom level of poverty, has come to the top. It has helped security in the state. Under this regime, the food production went to surplus. When the biggest national disaster happened in 1999, the state was devastated. The people were sending clothes and food to Odisha because it was so badly destroyed by the cyclone. In the next 20 years, when other states faced the COVID pandemic, they needed oxygen. When we were getting old clothes for help from others, we sent oxygen to many states. This is how we had managed, and yet there is no mention of Odisha anywhere. We need to reach telecommunication network everywhere as we have 22% tribal population and we do have the left wing extremism to tackle with. We have been asking the central government after highways and railway connectivity that telecommunication has to reach every nook and corner of the state. Banks need to be opened up everywhere in Odisha, but this demand is repeatedly falling on deaf ears. When it comes to floods and national disasters, I think no other state has so many natural disasters as Odisha has. We have never been given adequate support by the center, and when the central government offered something meager, Naveen Babu could tell them in the face that the state has its own resources. We don't need your pretense. You gave money for flood mitigation to 6 states. I won't name them. They deserve it. But what did you give to Odisha? When it comes to Polavaram project in Andhra Pradesh, it is funded by the center. If this project begins, Koraput district of Odisha will be submerged in water. There is a river which originates in Odisha, but there is no discussion about Mahanadi with us. Chhattisgarh has an engine, the center has an engine, and Odisha has an engine. There are three engines. Still, it is not working. There are major minerals in Odisha such as iron ore, coal, bauxite, and so on. If coal does not go from Odisha to other states, I think 50% of this country will have no electricity. The whole country won't be able to produce steel without iron ore and aluminium without bauxite. There are Jharkhand, Bihar, Bengal, and Odisha, which contribute a major source of minerals which go for industrialization all over the country. What do we get in return? We have been repeatedly asking for royalty revision. Of course, I thank the Supreme Court. They have passed a monumental judgment saying that states can levy their own taxes on minerals, and that was our state government's demand to the center, which was never considered. But today we thank the Supreme Court for giving the states this right to levy taxes on the properties of the states where minerals are found. We are contributing to the national exchequer in so many ways. It is Odisha's minerals on which the center receives crores and crores of rupees. But what do they give to Odisha? Look at the revenue of the railways. Extraction of minerals from Odisha earns a whopping amount of money for the railways. What do they give us? What is there in this budget itself? Our railway minister should be grateful to BJD because he has come here in this house because of BJD. But where is Odisha? On Tendu leaves, you have 18% GST. What is this? Can somebody put some sense? Tendu leaves are collected by means of hard labor. You have 1% GST on diamond, 3% GST on gold. This is absolutely insensitive and irresponsible. This is not democracy. This is autocracy. We are a federal democracy where states need to be heard. It is not that we are begging for something. Give us our rights. We contribute, but what do we get in return? This government just talks about double engine and triple engine. I don't know whether they have heard or not, but they are redundant engines now. I don't know if they understand. They were like Second World War engines or something. Today, In this house, the opposition is stronger than the ruling side.